Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Ovid Lamontagne, and this is about the presidential primary, you guys. You're very kind. And on behalf of my lovely wife, Betty, and the Granite PAC, we want to welcome you to our 8th presidential primary reception here at the 172 Yonge Street home of the Lamontagne family. And you're very kind to be here. Let all the media understand that we are a big tent party here in New Hampshire. Look at this tent. My father and mother live right down the yard here, and I called my dad last night. I said, Dad, is there an elephant running loose in your yard? He says, why? He says, because I got a circus tent in my backyard. He said, well, you're having a lot of Republicans tomorrow, so you should be all set. I said, yes, you're right. We are elephants. We are going to depart from our usual procedure. We're going to have the governor say a few words, answer questions, and then spend time with you all after his remarks. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge a very special couple to me and Betty, who was here, former senator and a mentor, Gordon Humphrey and his wife Patty. Where are they? Please wave. Over here. Oh, there they are, right here. Senator Humphrey and I go back to 1979, and someday I'll tell you the story, but not today. It is truly an honor for Betty and I and the Granite PAC to welcome a genuine American leader. And, you know, our guest from the Lone Star State is a person who's dedicated his life to public service. He served in the United States Air Force as a C-130 pilot. He then went back to the family farm and then resumed or began his career representing the constituents in Texas, serving as Secretary of Agriculture and then as a governor of the great state of Texas. There are a lot of things you could say about a man when he presents himself for the public office, but there are a few attributes which really distinguish this particular gentleman and our honored guest. Eagle Scout, not bad. Married to his elementary school sweetheart, not bad. A man who's a family man first, a man of God, a man who believes in what is great about America, and a man who believes that the 10th Amendment is a real amendment that means something to this country. You only have to spend a little time with this fine leader to know that he understands the Constitution is a limiting document, not a living document, right? Protecting us from the government. So, on this rainy, damp day, thank you for coming out, participating in the New Hampshire presidential primary process. And please give a warm Granite State welcome to the governor of the Lone Star State, Rick Perry.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be in your backyard. And Betty, thank you for your great hospitality. It's good to see you again. I will tell you one thing. I can't wait to refer to you, Betty, as First Lady. And a great one you will be. So, you know what that means for you. So, go and do well, brother. This country will be better when you have a man like Ovid in your capital. Moving this state towards being a more competitive place, a job creation machine, as he and I have talked about, and we've talked to Speaker O'Brien. You know, they may get it done before you get there, but if not, passing this right to work in this great state will make a huge difference. No sales tax, no personal income tax, and right to work. You just put a big old open for business sign on the side of New Hampshire. That's what'll happen. And that's the kind of governors that we long for in this country. People who understand that the states are about competition, getting their states back being more competitive, creating the environment of competition. Today our country's in trouble. And our country's in trouble because Washington, D.C. has lost sight of the concepts of competition. 1 in 6 Americans that are work eligible can't find a job today. That is not a recovery, Mr. President. That is an economic disaster. And I'm on there's nothing ailing America that the rebirth of freedom cannot cure. And when you think about it, bringing back prosperity by enlisting America's greatest attribute, liberty. Liberty and freedom. Freedom from over taxation and freedom from over regulation, freedom from over litigation. That ought to be the battle cry that we have from now until November of 2012. You know, freedom from too much government, freedom from too much spending, from too much borrowing, freedom from too much regulation. Just think about that. Imagine America, an America, if you will, that can set her people free. Free from those that would over-regulate and over-litigate. Employers that are freed up from an EPA that is continually creating more burden upon them. Once again, able to invest in an economy that will create jobs in this country. Americans that will be able to get back to work. Stop worrying about whether they're going to be able to meet the mortgage payment. Put the food on the table. Buy the next tank full of gas. I mean, that is how we need to allow Americans the freedom to again have the dignity of having a job and taking care of their families so that their families can get ahead. They can plan for the future. And the key to prosperity, as I said, is liberty. Yet this government that grows larger and larger, our liberties become smaller and smaller. It's time to set the American people free again from this burden of big government. Set us free from big government. Freedom works. Freedom works. And I know firsthand. I've seen it work in my home state. In the course of the last couple of years, since June of 2009, over 40% of all the jobs of it in the United States were created in my home state. And I've governed in Texas by staying very focused and disciplined to a few guiding principles. Principle number 1 is don't spend all the money. Having fiscal restraint. Having a tax policy that is light on the job creators as it can be. A regulatory climate that is fair and predictable. And a legal system that doesn't allow for oversuing. And that helps create the climate so that job creators know that when they risk their capital, that they can have that return on investment. And we need to do that in our nation's capital. And when you look back at our record over the last 10 years in the state of Texas, we cut our school property taxes by 1/3. We cut taxes on small businesses. We cut state spending for the first time since World War II this last legislative session. And since I became governor, our state's created over 1 million net new jobs. And that's just the simple truth. But a more powerful truth is that freedom works. Sadly, Washington has forgotten that truth. It is time to get America working again. It's time to send that message across this great country that we can be free to take care of our families. Cut the taxes on the families, on the employers, on the freeze those federal regulations and stop the generational theft that's going on by the massive debt that has been created by this administration over the last 2.5 years. When you elect me president, I'm going to promise you 2 things. Day 1, I'll walk into the Oval Office and I'll take out a Sharpie. And I'll put my signature on an executive order that wipes out as much of Obamacare as I can. The second thing I want to share with you is I will go to work every day. I will go to work every day with the intention of making Washington, D.C. as inconsequential in your life as I can. Every day. I love this country. I believe in this country. I believe in our country's promise. I believe in our future of this country. I think our best days are ahead of us. The history books will write that our children were the ones that created the greatest impact in this country's history. Because we, this generation, will do what's required to free our small businessmen and women from the overtaxation, the overregulation, and allow America to truly become, again, that great shining city on a hill. God bless you, and thank you all for letting me come and be a part of this. Your next governor said it was okay if I answered a few questions, so I would thank you for allowing us to come. Yes, sir.
GrokTV.